Welcome back to English Fluent U. I'm Diana, and with me is Paul. Today, we're tackling something that seems simple but can feel incredibly tricky for many of our listeners: small talk in English.
Picture this. You're at a networking event, or maybe just waiting in line at your favorite coffee shop. You want to start a conversation, perhaps connect with someone new, but your mind just goes completely blank. What do you say? How do you even keep it going without sounding awkward or, just running out of things to talk about? It's a really common struggle.
Small talk might seem, small, but it's actually a really big deal in English-speaking cultures. It's essentially the bridge that connects strangers, helps colleagues build rapport, and even leads to future friendships. Today, we're going to show you exactly how to master small talk so you can sound confident, natural, and totally at ease.
Exactly, Diana. You hit the nail on the head. Small talk isn't about diving into deep, philosophical conversations right away. It's about creating a sense of comfort, a little bit of connection, and just breaking the ice. It's about making the other person feel at ease and showing you're approachable. So, if you've ever found yourself thinking, "Oh no, I don't know what to say in English," or maybe you've worried about sounding unnatural, then this episode is absolutely for you. We're going to share 5 practical, actionable tips, give you some real-life examples, and even sprinkle in some fun idioms to make your English sparkle and really stand out.
We want to empower you to approach any casual conversation with confidence, whether you're meeting new people at a party, interacting with a cashier, or just chatting with a neighbor. These skills are truly invaluable, not just for English proficiency, but for building social connections too.
All right, so let's dive right into our first tip, because I think this one is really foundational, Diana. It's all about setting the stage and making that initial approach less intimidating.
Tip number 1, start with safe topics. Think of small talk as a warm-up. You wouldn't just jump into a full sprint without stretching first, right? The same goes for conversations. You don't start with politics, religion, or super personal issues. Those are topics for when you know someone much better. You start with something light, something neutral, and most importantly, something safe. Common topics that work almost anywhere include the weather, current events, but keep it light, like a local festival, not a global crisis, hobbies, food, or even the immediate surroundings.
Exactly. The goal here is to find common ground without any potential for disagreement or discomfort. These topics are universal. Everyone can relate to the weather, for example. It's a shared experience. So here are some really easy openers you can use straight away.
You could say, "Lovely weather today, isn't it?" Or, "It's quite chilly for this time of year." See? Simple observations.
Or, to branch out a bit, "I heard there's a new cafe downtown. Have you tried it?" This shows a little local awareness, or a very general one that nearly always works. "So how's your week going so far?" It's open-ended, but still very gentle.
Those are fantastic, Paul. Let's actually role-play this a little bit so our listeners can hear it in action. I'll start, pretending we just met or are in a casual setting. Ready?
I'm ready, Diana. Bring it on.
All right. Hi, Paul. How's your day going?
Pretty good, actually, Diana. The weather is amazing today, isn't it? Really makes me want to go for a nice, long walk or maybe just sit outside with a good book.
Totally. I know what you mean. It's such a nice change from yesterday's constant rain, don't you think? I was getting a bit tired of all that gray.
Oh, absolutely. Yesterday was a bit dreary. This sunshine just lifts my spirits, It's perfect for grabbing a coffee and just enjoying the city.
See how easy that was? We used lovely weather, nice change, and pretty good without even trying hard. It felt natural. And that brings us to a super important cultural tip here. In English-speaking countries, talking about the weather is truly a classic icebreaker. It's neutral, it's safe, and literally everyone can relate to it, no matter where they're from or what they do. It's the universal conversation starter.
It really is. Don't underestimate the power of a comment about the sunshine or the lack thereof. It's not just about the weather. It's about opening a channel for communication. Now, moving on to tip number 2, which is crucial for moving beyond just that initial opener.
Show interest with follow-up questions. Small talk isn't just about you talking. It's actually more about active listening and showing genuine interest in the other person. Asking follow-up questions is the best way to do this. It keeps the conversation flowing naturally, and, even more importantly, it makes the other person feel valued and heard. They'll appreciate that you're engaging with what they're saying.
Some simple yet effective examples include, "Oh really? Tell me more about that," or "That sounds fun," How often do you do that? Or even, interesting, what got you into that in the first place? These aren't yes-no questions, they invite a longer response.
Exactly, Paul. The key is to go beyond just a one-word answer. Let's try another example. I'll share a little bit, and you can show us how to use those follow-up questions.
Perfect, let's do it.
You know, I actually love hiking on weekends when I can. It's a great way to clear my head.
Oh, that's great, Diana. I can totally relate to that. Where do you usually go? Are there any particular trails you recommend around here?
Mostly the trails near the lake, actually. There's a really beautiful loop that takes about 2 hours, and the views are just incredible.
Nice. I've heard those are beautiful. Is it usually very busy, or can you find some quiet moments out there?
It depends on the time of day, but if you go early in the morning, it's pretty peaceful. You might even spot some wildlife.
See how that flowed? My questions allowed Diana to share more. And speaking of sharing, here are a couple of idioms you can sprinkle in. When you start a conversation, you break the ice, right? And if you both enjoy the conversation and connect easily, you hit it off. So you could say, we really hit it off at the party after breaking the ice talking about the weather.
Love those, Paul. They're so natural. And that brings us to a really important cultural tip here. Follow-up questions aren't just about getting more information. They genuinely show curiosity and politeness. But here's the trick, as Paul mentioned. Avoid those simple yes-no questions. They can shut down a conversation fast. Instead, always lean towards open-ended ones that require a bit more explanation. Think who, what, where, when, why, how to keep things flowing.
Absolutely. And that leads us perfectly into tip number 3, because as much as it's important to listen, you can't make it a one-sided interrogation.
Tip number 3, share a little about yourself. Remember, small talk is absolutely a two-way street. If you only ask questions, it quickly starts to feel like an interview, and that can be a bit intimidating or even exhausting for the other person. You need to share something about yourself too, to keep it balanced and make it feel like a genuine exchange. This shows vulnerability and builds trust.
For instance, after someone shares their hobby, you could say, I'm a big fan of jazz music myself. What about you? Do you listen to any kind of music in particular? Or, I just started learning photography. It's so relaxing, I find. Have you picked up any new hobbies recently? This opens the door for them to either comment on your interest or pivot back to themselves.
That's such a vital point, Paul. It's all about reciprocity. People want to feel like they're connecting with another person, not just being queried. Let's try this in a dialogue. I'll share something and you can chime in.
Sounds good.
I've been trying to cook more at home lately, instead of always ordering takeout. It's a challenge, but kind of fun.
Oh, that's awesome, Diana. Good for you. What's your favorite dish to make so far, or what's been your biggest success?
Definitely pasta. It's quick and easy, and there are so many variations. I'm trying to perfect a really good carbonara.
Yum, I love pasta too. Carbonara is tricky though, that's ambitious. I'm more into baking myself. I find it really therapeutic to follow a recipe and see the delicious results. Have you ever tried baking?
Not really. I'm terrible at baking. My cakes always come out flat. Any tips for a beginner?
See how that worked? We both shared, and here are some vocabulary phrases you can use to share about yourself. You can say, I'm into photography, or I've been trying to, as Diana did with cooking, or I'm a big fan of, I'm a big fan of indie movies. These are super versatile and help you share genuinely without oversharing.
Fantastic advice, Paul. It makes the conversation feel much more balanced and natural. And speaking of natural, let's move on to tip number 4, which is all about sounding, just like yourself, without sounding like you're reading from a script.
Tip number 4, use conversational fillers naturally. Now, when we say fillers, we don't mean just and constantly. We mean those little words and phrases that native speakers use all the time to give themselves a moment to think, to signal they're still processing, or just to smooth out the flow of the conversation. Words like, actually, I mean, they make you sound natural, not robotic. They're like the lubrication for your conversation engine.
For example, you could say, I guess everyone's talking about the new Marvel movie, right? Have you seen it yet? Or, it's funny how fast this year has gone by. It feels like just yesterday it was January. These phrases don't add much meaning, but they add a lot of naturalness.
They really do, and it helps you sound less hesitant, even if you are thinking about what to say next. It fills that silence gracefully. Some other useful vocabulary in this category are phrases like, by the way, to smoothly introduce a new, related topic. Or, guess what, if you have a little piece of news or a fun anecdote. And speaking of, is excellent for transitioning from one topic to something related that you want to bring up. For instance, speaking of movies, have you heard about that new director?
Perfect. Let's do a quick role play to demonstrate how these fillers can just effortlessly blend in. I'll start, and I'll make sure to throw in some fillers.
All right, let's hear them.
Well, I've actually been thinking about taking a trip somewhere soon. I really need a break.
Oh, really? That sounds amazing. Where to, if you don't mind me asking? Anywhere exciting in mind?
Maybe Italy, actually. I've always wanted to see Rome, all the history and the food.
That sounds absolutely amazing, Diana. Italy is on my bucket list too. Speaking of food, you mentioned you've been cooking pasta, so I bet you'd love the authentic Italian dishes.
Exactly. That's half the reason, to be honest. But, by the way, how about you? Any travel plans on the horizon?
See how smoothly those, actually, and speaking of, just made the whole conversation flow. It's like adding seasoning to your language. It just makes it more palatable and authentic. And now, for our final tip, which is just as important as the first: how to gracefully exit a conversation.
Tip number 5. End on a positive note. Just like you want to start strong, you want to finish strong and politely. Don't just walk away abruptly. Always wrap up small talk with a friendly closing. It leaves a good impression and can even pave the way for future interactions.
You can say things like, "It was great chatting with you," or "Hope you have a fantastic day," or if you genuinely want to talk again, "Let's catch up again soon." It's about signaling the end of the conversation without being rude.
Those are perfect, Paul. It's all about leaving the other person feeling good about the interaction. Let's do a quick example of a positive closing.
Sounds good.
Well, I should probably get going now. I've got to pick up something from the store. But it was really great talking to you, Diana. I learned a lot about baking.
Same here, Diana. It was a pleasure. Let's catch up again soon, perhaps over some good coffee. Have a fantastic day.
You too. See you around.
See? Simple, polite, and positive. And here are a couple of useful idioms for closing. You can say, "Keep in touch," if you want to maintain contact, or "catch up later," which is a more casual way of saying, "Let's talk again soon." It's not a firm commitment, but a friendly gesture.
Excellent. So, we've covered the do's of small talk. But before we wrap up today's episode, let's quickly touch upon something equally important: what not to do in small talk. These are the common mistakes to avoid, especially for those learning English.
Absolutely, Diana. These are critical for navigating social situations smoothly. First, and this is a big one, avoid controversial topics like politics, religion, or any highly sensitive social issues. These topics are deeply personal and can easily lead to heated debates or discomfort, which is the opposite of what small talk is for. Save those for people you know very well and trust deeply.
Right. You want to keep the mood light and agreeable. Second, don't overshare personal details. Small talk is not therapy. You don't want to talk about your recent breakup, your financial troubles, or very intimate health issues with someone you've just met. It can make the other person uncomfortable and unsure how to respond. Keep it light, remember? A little sharing is good, but too much, too soon is a definite no-go.
Precisely. And third, and this goes back to our earlier point about it being a two-way street, don't dominate the conversation. Small talk is like a tennis match. You hit the ball over and you wait for the other person to hit it back. If you do all the talking, or just keep talking about yourself without asking questions or inviting the other person to speak, it becomes a monologue, not a dialogue. Always aim for that balance of speaking and listening.
Couldn't agree more, Paul. These 3 are golden rules for anyone trying to master small talk in English. So let's recap everything we've talked about today to make sure our listeners have a clear takeaway.
Here's one. Start with safe, neutral topics like the weather, hobbies, or recent local events.
2. Show genuine interest by asking open-ended follow-up questions. Make them feel heard.
3. Share a little bit about yourself to keep the conversation balanced and reciprocal.
4. Use conversational fillers naturally to sound more fluent and less robotic.
5. And finally, always end on a positive and polite note, leaving a good impression.
Fantastic summary, Paul. Remember, small talk isn't just about exchanging pleasantries, it's about building those little bridges between people, fostering connection, and making the social world a friendlier place. Don't be afraid to try these tips. Practice them every single day. At work, in a cafe, with someone you meet at a social gathering, or even just online in English-speaking forums or communities. The more you practice, the more natural it will become.
And here's your challenge for this week, listeners. This week, try to start a small talk conversation with at least 3 different people. Make sure to use one new phrase or idiom that we discussed today each time, whether it's "lovely weather, isn't it?" or "speaking of." Give it a go. Then, share your experience with us on social media using the hashtag #FluentU. We'd absolutely love to hear how it went.
That's a great challenge, Paul. Remember, every big friendship, every valuable connection often starts with that first, small, seemingly insignificant conversation. So go out there and break the ice. You've got this, and we know you're going to shine.
Thanks so much for listening to English Fluent U. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and share this episode with any friends who want to sound more natural and confident in English. Until next time, keep talking, keep learning, and keep being curious.